Our next speaker, Daniel Ben-Horin, he's been in this space longer than I think almost every single person here. I don't want to make you feel old, Daniel, because I think you're incredibly young at heart. He started with CompuMentor in 1988. It's been decades of serving nonprofits who need high-quality software. He has built that organization into a global company called TechSoup Global, which Andrew and I have been proud to start working with over the last few months. We think they're doing absolutely vital work both here and around the globe. And we wanted to make sure he's been with us at the conference. We want to make sure to give Daniel a chance to tell you a bit about some very important stuff that came out of TechSoup's Global Summit that happened back in February, which is ongoing work that we really want the PDF community to contribute to and continue to contribute to. Daniel Ben-Horin.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. So I went to sleep last night. The Giants were down 4-0 in the second. When I woke up, they'd won 5-4 in the 13th. This is a beautiful day. How many people here have used Facebook's Friend Finder service, found someone you went to high school with, and then after a little while realized why you didn't stay in touch over the years? The premise I would explore with you in my few minutes here is that something very important has happened very rapidly in the last 2 years on the internet, and that is that we've gone from an economy, so to speak, a social economy of the wonder of connection, of finding new connections, of discovering that you have the same musical tastes as someone in Kenya or Romania or wherever, to a superfluity of those connections, a surfeit, and a glut. So now we're all trying to make sense of this incredible amount of information, incredible amount of possibility that we see, and it's hard. It's hard. We have reputation management tools and ways of liking or disliking, but that's not quite the same as imposing a structure that we can work within. And in my organization, we've been very concerned with how do you, in a sense, overcome the tyranny of structurelessness, to use a phrase that was popular in the early days of the women's movement when a similar kind of issue came up and thousands of flowers were blooming all the time, but they weren't all flourishing because there was a lack of structure. So I'm going to bust through some slides. The first, can I have my slides? The first 4 are about the resources that we, TechSoup, brings to the table. We're an organization of 200 people. We have offices in San Francisco, Warsaw, and London. And the primary thing we do is administer the product philanthropy programs of most of the big technology companies. We've been doing this for roughly 16 years. The organization was founded in '87. And interestingly, I saw Steve Levy here somewhere. He played a big role in starting the organization as CompuMentor, because the idea that really attracted me, having worked with journalists up to that time who held all their intellectual property close to the chest, was that these new nerds were the opposite. They had immensely valuable intellectual property, and as Steve showed in his book, The Hackers, there's a strong held value in that community of information wanting to be free, and that got me excited, and that was the original beginning of the organization, to recruit people on the well and try to match them with nonprofits. It was harder before the web, and we moved into this specialty of administering product donations. We work with about 45 companies. Certainly Microsoft has been our biggest and most constant supporter over the years. In 1995, when they started supporting the program, with my heart in my throat, I said, we really want to work with you, but we are platform agnostic. Is that okay? They said, yeah, that's probably a good idea for us, and to have an intermediary who can engender that kind of trust, and they've stood by us under that idea since then, as well as many other companies that you can see there. Because we have a social enterprise, we're probably more attractive to foundations to leverage the social enterprise and the support that provides us. So received philanthropic support. And we end up, we are now working, I think this adds up to 36 countries, and we're adding 6 in Southeast Asia this year. And in each of those, we have a partner who administers the program as the local face of it. So that's the resources part, but the thing that we're really convinced of is that we can't go it alone. Microsoft can't go it alone. Philanthropies can't go it alone. No one can if we're going to solve the kind of problems and take advantage of the kind of resources that are out there to create real change. We identified our constituency as consisting of 6 basic kinds of people and organizations. We invited them all to come to San Francisco to meet with our capacity building partners that we modestly called the TechSoup Global Contributor Summit. Some of you know Alan Gunner. We were fortunate, he's a big shout out for Gunner. He's a genius of a facilitator, made all of you put your laptops away and work for 2 days. We talked to about 80 of the 240 participants beforehand to identify the topics that were of most concern to them. Then what we're going to do now is use some very old-fashioned, almost Alinskyite organizing techniques. We're taking those topics and the protestations of intent that people made at the summit. We're putting them on a blog. We're calling people nicely first, and then more urgently to come on the blog and make good on what they said they would do at the summit. Some of the comments here, that was just one topic on translation, but they include comments from some of the people in the room, like Participatory Culture Foundation, Ed Bice from Medan, and IREX. And then what we're going to try to do is drive each of these conversations toward a specific project that people can look at and say, did it happen? Did you do what you said you would do? What's next? Thanks very much.
Okay.